The topic is love and attachment. So, if you want to read more, this book has the topic love and attachment. And this book has 20 pages on attachment. It has tremendous detail. And I'm surprised what I wrote then, because right these days I don't feel like writing because I'm extracting the essence. Like certain things are means, but when you're finished, you go further. Like money and success and survival is a means. But when you go further, you don't worry about it, you go further to your goal. Same way, that time I was explaining all the aspects of attachment, how, and all the stories. 20 pages. What is attachment? How does it build? How to remove attachment, and all these things. So I'm bringing out everything very clearly and directly. This book has all the topics in short. So I want to bring out basic, direct thinking. You can think along with me. What is love and what is attachment? Love is a feeling. Love is the experience. Love is unconditional. Love expands consciousness. Just imagine that. This love, when becomes contaminated, it becomes attachment. So love is the foundation and attachment is extension of it. What is attachment? Attachment is the thought in the mind. Love is experience of the heart. Love gets contaminated with the mind. So when you love, you are experiencing it. But when you try to express this, I love you, then you have idea, buy some gifts. You buy the gifts, you do different things. Then you expect some reward, thanks or something. So this is the trap. Love becomes attachment. This topic is big, so I might go back and forth. But this attachment fundamentally is attachment of consciousness. Consciousness tangles with matter. It becomes attachment. What do we tangle with? From the birth, we tangle with our body. So we become connected with the body and we forget that I am consciousness working within the body. Instead, we identify I am the body. Not only that, but in the chart, all these things you will see are the cause of attachment. First, I'm the body. Then everything happens to body, influences us. What is the advantage of love? Love expands you. Love makes you free. What is the disadvantage of attachment? Attachment shrinks your consciousness. Attachment brings the duality of I and you. So this comes to the body, then the senses, then the mind, emotions, intellect, all this attachment. All the attachment produces with I consciousness and everyone else is outside. So we produce duality, I against you, mine against yours. And this goes into identity of mine. That means my possessions, my family, then goes to ours, which is my nation, my religion, my race. All this identity is to confirm our ego. So really all attachments start from ego. If there is no ego, there is no attachment. So this is how everything begins in attachment. How do attachments start? Attachments start from association. Like if you associate with someone, you build attachment. Like your neighbor, you talk to them all the time, you become attached to them. And your own son or daughter live far away, you don't see them, attachment reduces. Even look further, a baby when born, if it's switched at birth and mother takes care of the baby that is not her own, one believes that baby is mine because builds attachment. An own baby grows up after 20 years comes, there is no connection. This is what shows attachment builds with association. Also association and also repetition. Attachment builds with repetition, that is the habits. If one smokes, one doesn't like it. But after smoking for a while, one begins to like it. Then one becomes addicted. Same thing with sleeping pills or LSD or any psychedelic drug or opioid. One builds addiction, and later on in the process, body gets worn out and addiction doesn't help. This is also attachment. Attachment comes from sanskaras. We are brought up from childhood with certain family, certain religion, certain environment, and we become attached to those beliefs. So attachment to all the beliefs come from environment and sanskaras from previous life that stays with us. So we have no choice, but we get sanskaras from the experiences. How to get rid of sanskaras is to be aware. If you become aware, you can get rid of the sanskaras. Sanskaras are built, attachments are built because we are not conscious. If we are conscious, we can see everything is changing. We don't build the sanskaras. But when we are not aware, we get attached without knowing. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna gives the whole process. That is in the second chapter, that the whole series of attachments start from the desire. Buddha says something similar. All the evil starts from desire, tanha. Lord Krishna says, Jayato visayan purusaha sanga deshu pajayate sangat sanjayate ahamaha kamat krodho vijayate krodhat bhavati sammoha smriti vikramaha smriti pramsat buddhinasho buddhinashat pranashyati. There is a whole chain reaction of 6 vices: desires, From desires, you fulfill the desire, you have greed, you want to get more. This is natural. Then one becomes proud of what I possess. So kama, lobha, mad. Then one becomes attached, one gets wrapped into it, moha. Then anyone comes as your competition, you have hatred from that. And any desire that is not fulfilled, there is no desire that can be fulfilled. So any desire we have ultimately gets interrupted, and that produces anger. And anger makes you infatuated, you lose the memory, you forget your goal. So all the starting point is desire. So one should stop the desires from this. So different kind of desire we'll talk in the next section. But right now, how to react to attachment. Attachment is raga and dvesha. Raga means running towards something. Dvesha is running from something. So really, attachment comes from strong likes and strong dislikes. If you have strong likes, you will be attached to it. If you have strong like for food, you have strong like for anything, you would run toward it and it would create all the chain reaction. On the other hand, you dislike something, you run away from that. And that is also attachment. So attachment is raga and dvesha, running toward or running away from it. So what is the answer? Non-attachment is to flow with life, accept everything as is. Krishna says that if suffering comes, absorb it. If pleasure comes, absorb it. Don't get disturbed when some suffering comes. Don't get excited when something positive happens. Don't be excited with honor. Don't be depressed with insult. Don't get excited with gain. Don't be disturbed with loss. Pleasure, accept it. Pain, accept it. So this is called samatha or equilibrium. So you maintain equilibrium. That means people have idea the happiness is some kind of pleasure, but that is not so. They think that is happiness, but they don't know the whole chain reaction. Anything you call happiness, it gives you a little happiness and then it subsides. If you are very hungry, you enjoy first morsel of food. Then your stomach fills, your hunger subsides. And when you are totally full, eating will be painful. Pain starts as soon as pleasure begins, but people don't see it, so they consider pleasure is something that is worthwhile. So this is why the world runs for pleasure and they suffer because pain comes at the end. So what is recommended is samatha, equilibrium, that you maintain balance. Pleasure comes, you don't become numb. You feel pleasure, you enjoy it, but you enjoy in the moment. This is the idea. Pain comes, you feel pain. You don't become like a rock. You don't become insensitive, but pain comes, you endure it. Because most of the pain is magnified by the mind, so pain becomes suffering. Pain itself is inevitable and is not as bad as we make it with our mind. So maintaining equilibrium. Krishna gives example of ocean that is filled. In the monsoon, lots of rivers throws the water in it. It doesn't get flooded. And summertime, there is heat, water evaporates. Small lakes dry out, ocean doesn't dry out. So maintain equilibrium. So means be so open-hearted that you absorb pleasure and you absorb pain. Okay. Another thing is don't have intense desire. If you have desire, you have preference. Like you should not stop planning. You plan a birthday party, outdoor party, you invite people, and you are really have prepared everything. And suppose it rains, you are not prepared for it. What happens? You are so much wrapped into it. What would I do? All the friends you have invited, what would you do? The preference is if it's raining, let it rain. Let us do the party inside. This is preference. So if we learn the preference that we plan something positive, but something happens, we adjust to it. This is what you have to learn with practice. So this is what I learned through life, to be adjustable. Because if you become adjustable, you don't waste your energy. Lots of energy gets wasted in getting excited and getting depressed. We use our mind and drain our energy. When you are busy with something, you love something, hours go by, you don't get tired. But something you don't like, you hate it, and you get tired doing nothing. So this is the secret, that flow with life, enjoy everything you are doing. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to end now and then work on other aspect.